Alrighty, so I think everything is rolling properly. So, welcome everyone to our I can't believe it. We are at episode 8 of our Dungeons and Dragons campaign Sand and Shadow. Our D&D campaign set in the desert kingdom of Abu Kanasta. With me today is we're going to be doing 4 players for today, but one of us is just running a smidgen late. No biggie though. So I'm not one to truly break tradition, but they will show up when they show up. So Mafia will be showing up later today. But continuing forward, my name is EK and I am a Turtle VTuber and I will be your humble dungeon master for the evening. And with us is my lovely friend Wailing Frog. Uh-oh, did I mute everybody by mistake? Oh my goodness, I didn't unmute myself on Discord. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
So I did that. I did that whole intro, so now we have that really awkward pause between me introducing Wailing Frog.
Oh. Well, I am a frog who is wailing. It's okay. It's a rough day for us all.
It is truly a rough day. Next of course is our lovely newbie Lumi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lumi, and I am a one water dragon VTuber, and I play Visper. And my mic currently sucks. That's it.
It's okay. We're figuring it out as we go along. And of course it's my bro, Rune Phantom. How we doing today, my man?
Oh, I'm doing good, my man. What up, what up? My name's Rune Phantom. I'm a variety streamer, and I love hanging out with these folks. I play the wonderfully adventurous Squarb Featherfowl, who's recently been experimenting with listening to Megan the Stallion. So right now, all he's got going in his head is, that's some brat! That's some brat!
Oh boy. Amazing. I am truly inspired. A point of it's just a few things we need to go over real fast. So, one, it's that time of year, folks. It's December, which means throughout this whole month while I'm streaming, you're gonna be seeing me decked out in a Santa hat and maybe with a cup of eggnog every day.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but also, I apologize in advance if I do sound a little scraggly. I am recovering from an illness, so if it seems like I am pausing or if I am, just sounding a little off, that's the reason why. But I am recovering, and do not worry. I am well rested, and I have warm tea, of which I can't really taste because I burnt my tongue earlier.
Oh.
Oh.
That means it can't hurt me.
Fair.
I burnt my tongue last night, so now I can't feel the hotness of the tea anymore. But where we last left off is that the migration had officially started. The scarab city of Blasphatan, along with the many other cities, have finally arisen from the sands, and the entire infrastructure begins to move. It will take about 2 months before they arrive at their new destinations, where they will settle in order to reinvigorate themselves before the next migratory movement. During this time, all travel is strictly prohibited unless it is via flight or teleportation magics, if you happen to have access to such things. But even then, it is treacherous given the nature of the scarab beetles. Now, where we left off just prior to the migration, we had discovered that Visper is actually a princess of one of the Fey courts within the Fey Wild, and that she is being pursued by a group of Fey soldiers who are hoping to bring her home. We learned that the reason why she ran away from the Feywild is because she had an arranged marriage that she really didn't want to be a part of. Let's be real here. She didn't want that. And so she ran away. On top of that, we discovered through a an undead interrogation using a zone of truth and a speak with dead spell combination. You guys were able to discover that the reasoning behind the cult of Golion uh, that had the crates of cargo that you had went out to seek out for Kassar had contained artifacts that were imbued with the essences of Golion, very powerful artifacts that were used in an attempt to summon an avatar of Golion to the material realm. Knowing this, you went to your friend Kassar to see if he had any more information related to this. Thankfully, your friend had informed you that he was unaware of this, and that he found that his information was lacking, and he was rather disappointed in himself. Collectively coming together, you have decided that your best bet, given that the migration is happening right now, is to somehow make your way back to Kileron, find the artifacts, and either destroy them or remove them from whoever has them in possession, and perhaps even learn more about the person who uncovered them, an archaeologist friend of Kassar, who asked him to transport them over to Kileron from his archaeological site. You guys discovered that Kassar does have a means of traveling between the various Scarab cities via these inky portals that you always seem to catch him leaving from whenever you enter his abode, if he's not already in his office. And that is where we last left off. Currently, the only people who are in the office right now were Visper, Serena, and Violet. But you guys did mention, if I recall correctly, that you were going to contact Scorb and Ember about coming together to make your way to Kileron. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
All right, cool. Then in that case, how would you like to go about doing that?
What's the? Do we know the distance on the earrings that they work?
Yes, so they're sending stones, effectively. They're just modified sending stones, so they have the equivalent distance of a sending spell.
I have to look that up.
I don't think there's a set distance for sending.
Oh, is it just we know if we know the person? We can
Yeah, so
okay.
effectively, so long as you designate the target, the sending stone will transmit the message to them. And these are, like I said, these are modified sending stones. There isn't a hard limit on how many uses you have on it. It's just it is stuck to the limit of you only have 25 words or less.
Gotcha. So I will message Squarb and be like, so we found out a lot.
It's a good way of putting it.
Come to Naela's Nook when you get a chance.
I will respond. I'll be on my way shortly.
Wonderful.
I will do the same for Ember.
Wonderful. For the purposes of, because like I said, Ember isn't with us today, we will say that she had received the message, and then I will be just roughly role-playing that she's there.
Okay.
So that way when she does get back, hopefully next session, she doesn't miss anything. So yes, but Ember, you get a very chipper response back from Ember saying that she will meet you there shortly after she takes care of some last minute business. Now, Squarb, you were in the midst of doing paperwork beforehand. Do you do anything before you leave the office?
Other than report that I'm heading out, no.
Alrighty, cool. So you see, you see temporary, Commander Lee, still swarmed by people asking for his assistance, and he just kindly waves at you as you head out, acknowledging that he understands that you have to go, and that he'll inform Manas and Persephone about your comings and goings.
Sick.
Right, so you fly over to Niela's Nook. aside from the slight shifting of the ground before you ascend, and you can tell that the city is in motion due to the slight wobbling nature of buildings, as the scarab kind of skitters about the dunes. Nothing realistically has changed for you in terms of perspective. You still know exactly where you're going with relative ease, and nothing is moving too fast to the point where it's impossible for you to navigate the city.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so you make your way to Niela's Nook easily enough, and it's about now. It is. Hey, we're being raided.
Okay.
Oh,
Already?
Snowy Raid!
Yay! Snowy raid. How's it going, guys? How you doing, raiders? What's up? Let me just go ahead and shout out.
Bruh.
Oi. Man, Seaweaver, you are hitting all the things right now, aren't you? I love Seaweaver. He's a good friend of mine.
You are watching a master at work.
What did you guys do? What were you guys playing? You guys were still playing Monkey Island? Man, I gotta go back and watch all that stuff.
You gotta return to Monkey Island.
Boy, how dare you? How dare you play me like the fiddle?
You've met me.
Weaver's just burning all of his points now. I'm just gonna let this happen. Oh yeah, you guys are going through all the games right now, aren't you? How's that going? I'm excited. I'll need to make me more tea soon. I also forgot to turn off all of my alerts. So, Seaweaver just hit me with every sound alert I had on that. This is what we refer to as streamer hubris.
Imagine it was just silence, and not silence, we were going through the thing, and then you all of a sudden just hear this reverb fart out of nowhere.
I'm glad I don't have that as a sound alert. I don't think I could handle that as a person.
I used to have that as a sound alert, and that scared the mess out of me.
Oh, the one sound alert that always gets me is the realistic door knocking, because my room is literally right next to the front door, so I can hear it. So I'll be like, "What was that?" And then realize, "Oh, right, I have that." So I stopped using that sound alert too.
Don't blame you.
For reasons. But anyways, it's good to have you guys in, Raiders. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ikeon. I'm a Turtle VTuber. I mostly play RPGs and MMOs, things of that nature. But I also like to talk and play Dungeons and Dragons, which is what we're doing right now. So with me are my friends Wailing Frog, Lumi, and Rune Phantom, and we're expecting to get our fourth player in here, Not Mafia, as soon as she comes back. So yeah, if you guys, I hope you guys settle in and enjoy yourselves. If you guys just need to put me in the background, more power to you. This is kind of more of an audio thing and not a visual thing. So if you guys need to do laundry, grab a bite to eat, use the bathroom, personal choice. But hey, you know what? I listen to streams while I'm in the bathroom too. So you do what you got to do. But sit down, enjoy yourselves, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Now then, where were we? We were at... Oh, yes, you make your way, Squarb, into Niela's Nook, and it's about midday, or early evening, I would say, at the time of arrival. And you see that the Niela's Nook is packed, but the bartenders recognize you, and they just kind of point you over to Frank, the Coleoptrix bodyguard, and you see Frank. He now recognizes you, and he like gingerly waves your way, and he steps aside before you even make your way to the stairs.
Delightful.
Yeah. So you make your way up the stairs where you then see Hank, the other Coleopteryx bodyguard, at the top of the stairs, and he steps out of your way and directs you to the door for Kassar's office, where before you even have a chance to knock on the door, Titan, the large Goliath like Earth Genasi man, had opened the door for you and is waiting for you to enter.
Nod towards Titan. Thank you.
Good to see you again.
You as well.
And you will notice that Kassar's secretary, who if I don't recall if you actually caught her name before Score, but her name is Etna. She is the gnome. She seems very like stressed all the time. She has
Don't
a
blame her.
yeah, she works for Kassar. Nobody does. But you know, her long pink hair is wrapped up in a business style bun, and she's got a smoking pipe in her hand that is lit, and she's letting out just different puffs of smoke that change shape after every few seconds. You would see things like the shape of like a dragon, and then like maybe like the shape of a fairy and things of that nature. Just you can tell she's just smoking to smoke at this point.
Fair.
But you also notice that none of the smoke ever wafts to anybody's direction. It seems that the smoke itself is purely magical. So
she ain't about being an asshole.
correct. Etna may be working hard, but that doesn't mean she's an asshole to everyone. Just Kassar. So you and Ember arrive, and Kassar looks you guys all over and goes, "So, are you prepared to travel to Kileron?"
As ready as I can be.
I
Oh,
see.
was that directed to all of us?
Yes, this was an everybody question.
Oh,
I
yeah.
sorry again, slightly sick, can't enter Kassar mode on a moment's notice.
You're good. Yeah, no, I think we're ready.
I'm ready as well.
Understood. Tea helps. So Kassar and Etna turn around to face the back wall, and this is the first time you've ever seen them entering the portal. But you see that Kassar's shadowy visage begins to emanate a inky black magical aura around his being. His eyes glow a deep purple as his claws begin to what appears to be coated in pure darkness, and he puts his hands up into the wall and begins to slowly rip open a portal. Etna, on the other hand, is emitting a slightly pink energy, and she is more or less holding her hand towards Kassar, and you can see the two energies sort of coalescing and creating a sort of blended color, as it seems as though she's containing it as this inky void begins to open on the wall behind them. Uh, once the portal is large enough to fit somebody of even Titan's size, he then steps aside, and his essence is still in that inky darkness. But he then points out to you, "This will lead you straight to Kileron's nook. Act swiftly. I cannot keep this open for long."
Thank you very much, Kassar. We'll hopefully be back with good news eventually.
I suppose away we go.
We shall be informed. As you step into the darkness, you guys are immediately enveloped in this cold, unfeeling energy. It's as if all the happiness, all the joy, and just any sort of emotion just gets sucked away from you in an instant, and all you feel is emptiness.
Hey, yo,
And
ain't nobody told me we were messing with Dementors today.
we're working on it. But it's only for the briefest of moments, as it's because it's as if the moment you step through and your body becomes fully enveloped in the darkness is when this bright pink energy, almost like a bubble, envelops you, and you feel like that coldness that once surrounded you begins to fill yourself with a little bit of warmth. And what once was like grays begins to fill slowly with color once more in your vision. And it's like a gentle push from a friend on the back, on the center of your back, is guiding you through the darkness. In mere seconds, you appear on the other side of the portal. None the worse for wear, but you appear to step into an office space very similar to the one found in Blasvatan, but just the lights are off.
He must have an office on every beetle.
Well, you guys have exited out of the portal. What is your next move?
I look forward to the rest of the party. You know where we're going better than I do.
Yeah, so I kind of take this moment, since we're in a private room, to kind of fill in Squarb and Ember on what we learned.
Okay.
So, yeah, we talked to a dead dude. Well, first of all, Visper is a princess, who ran away from her arranged marriage. That's why she's being hunted down, and that's why she's wearing Violet's sun hat to be a tabaxi.
Oh, that's a detail I completely missed on.
You're welcome.
Again, sickness, recovery, and health.
But the things we learned from the body, which I told you was a good idea to take. They sought to bring forth an avatar of Golian. Their tattoos were gifts granted by Golian. We don't know who actually gave them the tattoos, though. Luckily, Golian does not exist in our plane yet, and the artifacts that we rescued from the statue and the cultists were imbued by with energy of Golian and were being used as kind of a fuel source. We need to get those artifacts either back or destroy them, and figure out who found them and why they wanted them transported here, and then we need to find out who has them. I think that about sums it up.
All right. Well, we'd best get started then.
Agreed. No one get rock water this time. This is not a...
We're not here for pleasure.
No.
Yep.
No, funny you
We're
should
serious
mention that now. Meanwhile, Ember's divinity. So you guys exit the office space, and it's rather rambunctious down below, on the first floor. It appears that everybody is in the midst of revelry, but there appears to be no bodyguards stationed up here. There doesn't appear to be anybody even up here. It seems that all of the revelry is happening downstairs.
Okay. I think our best move would be to talk to the bartenders, since they were the ones who we needed to make contact with. when we brought the packages here.
Sounds
Okay.
like the best thing to do.
One moment while I research my data bank of characters.
I didn't write down their names.
Oh, I never gave you names. I'm looking for voices.
Oh, I see.
There it is. Found them. All right. You make your way down into the through the party, and you see the two gnomes just passing off drinks. It looks like it's more than Rock's water this time around. But they recognize you and they go, "Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Wait a minute. How'd you get here?"
Magic.
Yes.
We have a mutual friend.
Haha, yep. Okay, so what can I get you? Want some Rock's water again, or you want something different?
No box water, please. None of that.
I think we're fine.
All right. All right, well, shoot yourself. So what brings you here?
Squarb
I
look
think
towards
I-
Serena.
Oh, okay. We need information
All right, what about?
about who picked up those artifact or the packages that we delivered.
Gotcha. All right, well, sure, I could tell you. Or we could do a bit of a trade.
Hmm.
Your dwarvish friend. Really liven up the place. Can we borrow her for a couple hours? You know, just kind of like keep the folks entertained, keep the drinks running, you know what I mean? And then in exchange, I give you the information, and then you come back, pick her up.
And
If she has no objections, I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Or, I
Yeah.
don't see why that would be. My mistake.
Sweet. All right, cool. In that case, and he pulls out a little piece of vellum and he begins to like write down on a piece of paper an address, and then he lets it roll up and then he hands it off to you. It should still be awake at this time of day, but if not, just say Niella's looking for him. That ought to do it.
all right, and do you have a name, or will we find that out when we get there?
It'd be best if you find that out when you get there.
Okay.
Alright.
So, cool. In that case, and then Ember, she immediately steps up on stage and then just begins to go into a performance of phenomenal proportions, we'll say.
I mean, that sounds about right for her.
Indeed, she has really good
Yeah.
performance checks, so I'm not even gonna roll for her because I'm afraid of ruining her pendulum swings.
Fair enough.
All intents and purposes, I don't want to ruin a player's pendulum because it always goes against me. The time I crit for score. I'm- Yeah, that's a mood. So you guys leave Niella's Nook, and it is, like I said, it's about early evening right now. The night is just starting to crest over. People are still walking about the city of Kileron. You can still hear the sounds of hammers meeting steel and anvil throughout this city. For those of you who had forgotten, the city of Kileron is the city of blacksmiths. So a lot of their trade is based in weapons and armor and just metallurgy in general. So that's why you can still hear that. The scent of the forge is still strong around here, but for the most part, um, you've only navigated. You've been here for I think a week prior, but for the most part, you've navigated the city once or twice before. So, what is your what are you planning to do?
Well, I suppose we best start by attempting to make our way towards our destination.
Yep. Probably the best move.
Alrighty. So you read on the scroll, and it says the Kileron Museum of Architecture. So you make your way down the night streets. The slight wobbling of the scarab in motion doesn't really offset you guys too much. I would say because of the way the city is built, most people can walk while the scarab is in motion with relative ease. Only realistically a drunk person would collapse around here. And
Before I immediately do.
yeah. um, but for the most part, there are signposts throughout the major streets that kind of guide you around, and eventually, within I'd say about an hour or two of travel, you are able to eventually find this rather. I'd say it's large, but in a city as big as the Scarab cities like Kileron, it's about like a medium size, kind of like if I were to put it for scale, um, if you were to compare a skyscraper to a chapel, I guess like a small chapel or or something like that. That's about the scale that I'm looking at. It can certainly fit a large swath of people, but it's no bigger than maybe 1 floor, 2 floors tall. But you guys, you approach the front door. You do see that the lights inside are still on. How would you like to approach?
With all of the confidence of a cis white male, I march up and knock on the door.
We're not supposed to say that. We can't just say that.
And we not.
Oh no. All the
Have I fucked something up?
No, it's just I wasn't expecting that. It was just so jarring to hear. I'm like, wait, what?
Fair enough.
With all the confidence of a cis white male, holy hells. Yeah,
I mean, tell me it's wrong, though.
there really isn't much wrong in that statement by itself. Corked up white boy goated with the sauce walks up to the door and says,
Jesus Christ. That's exactly what he says. Just Jesus Christ.
Just
I'm
Jesus
joking, that's not what he says. Scorb marches up to the door and knocks on it and indicates why he is calling.
Why is he calling?
Well, this is our destination, right?
Yes.
Tracking down that, yeah. So he's basically just immediately outing the party as we're here on behalf of our a mutual friend. We seek information and yeah.
Scorbs
Sorry, I'm a
is
little out of it today.
no, you're good. Scorbs is sharp as a mallet.
Yes, this is true.
Scorp is as sharp as a mallet.
Serena's just frowning.
Eventually you do hear the unlatching of the door, and then a small crack in the door opens up. Yes, who is it? Yes, I'm aware, but I I wanted to know who this mutual friend was. I believe your mic was out for a moment.
Oh, no, I was kind of chuckling to myself because I zoned out for a moment.
You're
Anyway,
good.
We are here on behalf of. I'm sorry, my brain has actually just really short circuited.
You're good. I'll give you two options. You can say you're here on behalf of Kassar, you can say you're here on behalf of Niella, but I will not tell you which one's the correct answer.
All right, fuck, I'm so sorry. We're here on behalf of Niella.
Oh, I see. In that case, please. And the door opens a little bit more, but you don't really see the person. But they do ask you to come inside.
I will gracefully. I will step in.
Yep, I'll follow.
And then, with the grace of a newborn giraffe,
Yeah, that's about right.
that sounds about right. With with the confidence of a cis white male and the grace of a newborn giraffe, Squab Featherfowl steps onto the scene. That sounds like a character monologue.
It could be.
Man, our energy is through the roof today. You guys step inside. It's rather warm in here, but more like an ambient warm, not like it's like temperature-wise warm. The faint glow of candlelight and torch sconces sort of keep the entire museum aglow. You'll see artifacts of various pieces. As well as like small scale replicas of potentially what could have been desert ruins that were mapped by cartographers and architects that had returned with their own findings. Now, I did say this was a museum of architecture, but this is more of like just a normal museum, like just a museum of history.
Fair enough.
So you'll find like ancient slabs of stonework that have depictions of histories, great wars, things of that nature. But more or less, this is definitely more along the lines of. But it does still fit the theming of architecture, in which you would see like the early rendition, like scaled renditions of what the Scarab City looked like before it became what it currently was. And so as you sort of kind of walk in and observe the various displays, you see this scraggly but well dressed human, if that's a good way to describe him. He's very thin. Let's go with that. Um, he doesn't seem malnourished. He just seems very thin. Like you can pretty like Serena can literally hug him and he'd snap like a twig. Let's go with that. Um, and but like he looks up to all of you and he goes, so, Niella, and he does the air quotations as he closes the door gently behind you. What information does she require?
Well, it's in regards to a few packages that were delivered recently.
I see. Let us step into the back then and discuss this further. We don't want to disturb any of the guests that are perusing the museum. There are no guests in the museum.
Something's fishy going on.
Yeah, can Serena roll an insight check?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to go to the back room.
At 14.
Well, 14's respectable. He tries to play the role of the museum curator, and that's realistically it. He wants to come off as a professional curator.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. It's more just him stroking an ego at this point than anything else.
Okay.
Alright.
But
I will
he
humor him.
Yeah, but he does guide you. He does guide you through like the major talking points of the museum before you guys eventually get to the back room area. He points out like and this is what Kileron looked like before we established this top of the large scarab, and he kind of just goes through the history of how it became a very prominent city of metallurgy and blacksmithing and things of that nature. Um, whether or not you take interest in it is completely up to you.
Is there, while we're going through, is there like anything of religious nature?
Uh, I would say yes. There's minor replicas of like structures that had cultural and religious significance. He had a there's at one point there was a stone totem that represented one of the gods of protection. Particularly that one represented Solneus, the hawk god, and how they were guided by Solneus, and like it was in reference to how Solneus had guided their ancestors to discovering the scarab beetles and finding the cities of Abu Kanasta.
But
But-
like nothing to do with like Golian or anybody like that.
Nothing that you can tell outside of maybe a single. You'd probably have to look a little bit more, but like he said, he was just going through the major talking points of his museum, which was mostly architecture. Perhaps if you took your time and went about exploring it, you may discover something.
Maybe on the way out.
Mm-hmm. But you guys going to this back office area, it looks like a gentleman's study. Like there are bookshelves lining every wall. There's a nice little area where you can sit down and enjoy a nice calm night of reading. There seems to be a table with snacks and drinks ready to go. And there's like some really nice chairs. Like it looks like the majority of his time is spent here. Um, uh, Please take a seat. Would you like something to drink? Some water or tea or
I don't trust
Water
drinks
would be
from
fine.
Strangers.
He would be fine.
oh, of course. Just a moment. And he you can he reaches down for the little kettle that he has, and he just focuses on it for a brief moment. You see his eyes glow, and you can tell that the kettle begins to warm as he sets it down to let it continue warming up. While he does so, he goes to a mortar and pestle and begins grinding up some tea leaves for you as he begins to prep for the tea. In the meantime, though, he does hand out a couple of glasses of water for all of you while you wait for the tea. While I'm preparing this, please, what would you like to learn about the artifacts that were recovered recently?
I look at Squirb. Should we'll just right into this?
There's no reason not to.
Okay. We have learned that those artifacts were imbued with the essence of Golian.
As he hears that, you can hear the sudden stop of just like he drops little masher, and you just hear the tink tink. I see. That is alarming, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
He shakes his head and continues grinding up the tea leaves before putting them into a teacup. He sets the teacup down and begins to pour the hot water into the cup for you, and then he sets it aside to let it steep in front of you. Well, thankfully, I have yet to have the time to set up the display for the artifacts. With the migration and everything, it's kind of hard to move such delicate things, as you can surely be aware of.
Yeah, for sure.
But please, you wouldn't happen to have a way to purify them by chance, would you? Or
Would so would I could I use ceremony in this method? There's like several different ones, but none of them really fit it. I mean, there's blessed water, but
that's a good question, and I'm going to say if you were to examine the relics, that might give you a better answer.
okay.
I don't want to outright deny you this option because it's clever, but I
Right.
don't want to outright tell you you can because of the nature of this.
That's fair. So Serena will think for a second. I would, to know for sure, I would have to actually examine the relics.
Yes, of course, of course. Well, I keep them in our storage here on site. So please, if you would like to get this underway, we can certainly go about doing that. So, if you would just follow me real quickly, and we should be able to get started.
Serena quickly downs her tea and then stands up and gets ready to head out.
Wonderful. Excuse me. Okay. You guys walk your way through Yep. You guys walk your way through the museum once more, heading to the opposite end. Excuse me.
Please don't die.
I'm trying not to. Heading to the opposite end, where I will say with your passive perceptions. Let's see, where did I hide that? There it is. La, da, 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 da. Yeah, I would say you would see something, Serena. With your passive perception, I would say that you do see what looks to be a mural depicting Golian and another god, but it's faded. Like, the fact that you were able to recognize that there is a centipede at all is kind of a good thing. But you can't quite make much more of it at a glance.
Okay. I'll make a mental note of it to come back and look at it.
You guys make your way to the storage area in the back here. It's dark, but it should be fine, all things considered. The curator has a torch, and he begins to light the sconces along the wall, just the ones immediately to the door. If you'll follow me, I believe I left them here in the far back. As you continue down the long, dark swaths of various artifacts and gear. Wow, really? My goodness. Okay. Awesome. The three of you will notice there are shadows moving about in the darkness.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
Squarb tenses up.
Wait, is Violet with us?
Violet would be with you, yes.
Okay, so one of us didn't notice.
No, all of you
Okay.
noticed. Listen, Scorb has the lowest passive perception, and he noticed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, let's
His perception is 10.
let's be real here. If Scorb notices something, the rest of you will notice.
I would like to really quick use channel or Eyes of the Grave
Okay,
just to see if those shadows are anything to worry about.
certainly. Your eyes turn into that glossy, milky moonstone once more, and you can see the undead aura of everything around you. But you don't pick up any undead energy, aside from Violet, of course.
Okay. That's one thing not to worry about. Hooray.
Indeed. As you continue down, but what would you like to do with that knowledge, though?
Of the shadows?
Yeah, what would you all like to do with that knowledge?
Oh,
Um,
if they aren't bothering me, it's fine.
Squarb's going to remain ready if something happens, but he's not going to go out of his way to start problems.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
yes, Serena's of the mind of, we can handle it if things go bad, but for now we should play along.
Yeah.
Understood. So, your group continues to travel along, and you eventually get to where these rather large crates are. You would recognize these as the crates you had delivered previously. Now, when you arrive, he sets the torches, or he sets the sconces alight, and he then sets his torch inside one of the empty sconces for you guys to use as lighting. And he begins to, with some difficulty, begins to pry open one of the crates.
I offer to help him opening them.
Yeah, certainly. With your guys' aid, you are more than capable of opening up the crates, and it is revealed that these large crates have many different artifacts inside of them. One of them is this very large great sword that has what looks like has a centipede engraved along the entire length of the blade. And then you have another artifact, a staff that has what looks to be made out of coiling centipedes along the entire length of it, ending in at the head of the staff, the maw and the mandibles of a centipede. Finally, in one of the smaller crates, you see totems and perhaps what looks to be an amulet of some kind. These three totems look more like ceramic jars that just have various different depictions. One of them has a centipede on it, but the other three have a snake, a scorpion, and what looks to be a sunstrider, but it looks like what would happen if you took a sunstrider and it was turned into a demon on the four jars. And then just this amulet, it looks it has a large purple gem socketed into it with what looks to be in the shape of an eye. And I would say if anybody would like to, they can roll an Arcana check.
Yes, +1. Fisper, is your Arcana any better?
Let me check. I forgot where that's at.
I will roll mine though too, but if yours is better than +1, then oh god, yeah, that's a 7.
Well, I got +2.
I'd still roll it.
What do you got to
Right.
lose?
That, yeah.
16.
That's way better. Visper, immediately you would recognize that this amulet is emanating a very powerful curse attached to it.
Oh,
I would say curse and not
Oh,
just
wow.
magic.
Uh-oh.
So how you want to take that information is up to you.
Well, I will, of course, tell the others. They deserve to know.
Okay. So you inform the rest of your group that that amulet specifically is cursed.
oh, awesome.
Oh dear.
This is something. Uh-oh.
Shame I don't have 3rd level spells yet.
Right?
Is there a way to identify what kind of curse is on it?
You could, if you have access to a detect magic, would be able
Oh.
to tell you the nature of magic that it is associated with.
Nope, don't have that one prepared. Oopsie.
I will say, however, you would know, given your proclivity for magic, that most curses take effect upon wielding or wearing whatever the cursed object is. So you would know that if somebody were to, I don't know, put on the amulet, that the curse would immediately take effect. That's how strong that curse could possibly be.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So don't wear the amulet.
Yeah. And I would say that's just based on your familiarity with magic.
What are we gonna do now?
Well, I suppose I'll start kind of cautiously examining the other artifacts.
Okay. How would you like to examine them? There are many ways to go about it. I just want to know what's the best approach for Serena.
I know.
Like,
So I almost could make an argument for history.
you could.
Like, like would I have learned through my teachings as under my mentor about like anything about artifacts similar to this under Golion, because I'm assuming I would have learned a little bit about like the bad gods too.
Yeah.
As kind of a cautious thing.
Yeah.
So
You can roll either a history or a religion check.
we'll go history because religion is shit for me.
Fair enough.
I am the worst cleric.
Hey, man, my paladins don't know religion either. We're good.
That's a 19.
Fair enough. Yeah, so with a 19, Serena, you would know that. mm, How do I say this? Though you've never, outside of this very instance, of course, you've never encountered artifacts of the gods of desolation, right?
Right.
They for you these were tales of, these were tales to keep children in line. Fairy tales of if you like things of like if you don't respect the land, the god, the centipede god Golion will cause a plague upon all that you harvest. Uh, though war is inevitable, do not revel in it, or lest the scorpion goddess takes you over. Things of that nature. Very cautionary tales of, though evil is not inherent, the actions of one the actions of one have overarching consequences, sort of thing. So everything should be done in moderation. It was basically the majority of the things, but like other things are like, but like in relation to the artifacts themselves, outside of maybe the shamans and the medicine men and women of your tribe, uh, they they would caution they would caution poisons, in the sense of, even something as dangerous as poison is used in the creation of antivenoms. So even bad things can be used with good intentions, sort of thing.
I
Um,
see.
so as far as you understand it, uh, artifacts related to Golion and things of that nature, you probably understand it more of, these aren't inherently bad, as so much the person who wields them could be bad.
Okay. Boy, I don't know how to spell inherently, but that's fine.
You're good. you,
Uh,
a good an alternative way of saying inherently is, by design they aren't bad, but
okay.
but
Yeah.
whoever wields them could be.
Okay. I look at the curator. Is he still there?
Uh, roll
Or
a
did he
perception
go
check.
off? Okay. Oh, that's don't like that I have to do that. That's a 15.
None of you, as far as you can tell, the curator is no longer there.
Oh, wow. Ditched
Uh,
us.
I don't like that.
I
Me
don't like
neither.
that either. I was going to ask him if I could touch the sword, but he's not here. So,
Let's do it anyways.
So let's do
Serena
it
is
anyways. I love newbies so much. They just have such a fuck it, let's go mentality because they don't know what could go wrong, and it's so awesome.
so. As of now, does Serena think that ceremony could be used to kind of purify, or would I have to examine it closer?
I would say, given what you understand now, I would say that ceremony is not a strong enough ritual to purify these artifacts.
Gotcha.
Hey, question.
You know what? Before I
Not allowed
touch
to
anything,
touch it?
before I
was
touch
like, what is
anything,
it? Oh, because like, what is it? Oh, you were talking and whatnot. I
yeah.
was thinking in my head, like, what if I just thankfully touch it a little bit while y'all don't notice?
Would you like to?
Yes, I would.
Roll a stealth check.
Alright. Dang. Alright. That was nothing.
Oh,
A 6.
Okay, so even Squarb can tell you're trying to be sneaky. So I'm gonna leave this up to Squarb.
Wait, I just got back. What's Lumi trying to do?
She's trying to sneakily touch one of the artifacts.
Squarb will kind of just reach out and grab Lumi's wrist and just kind of shake his head.
Just no.
Oh, it's just a tiny touch. I'm sure
For all we
nothing
know,
bad will
they're all
happen.
cursed, and the last thing I want to deal with is having to deal with anybody being cursed.
Well, that's the thing, though. Only we figured out that only the amulet's really cursed. The artifacts relating to Golian are not by design bad. It's just more. It's the intentions of who wields them.
Yeah, so it's not bad if you could just touch it a little bit, feel the texture. of
That
the
being
item.
said, I'm going to use augury
Fair enough.
to see if it's a bad idea.
Fair enough. Yeah, go for it. You toss some bones onto the ground
Yep.
that you just happen to have, and the bones sort of scatter in such a way where it's definitely a woe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't touch.
It's definitely woe.
No touch.
Hey.
Touch bad.
That sucks.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking through my spell list to see if
Now,
if we take
just a quick, just to
Yeah.
reiterate, you said not to. You said, is it okay to touch the artifacts? Correct.
Correct.
Okay, I will. Yeah, that is definitely a woe. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to make sure I got the wording right,
Yep.
because augury's kind of one of those weird things where like, that's kind of a monkey's paw aspect thing. I
Yep. No, I
gotta
know.
be careful
I
with.
specifically meant touch because that's what I wanted to try because I was going to examine the greatsword closer.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a bad idea, then no.
We can still move the crate though.
I mean, we can, but also there's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, technically, the guy left and it's us in here.
Yeah, where did he go? I'm worried now.
It's free
And I-
game.
Honestly, I can't really do anything about this until like I know some stronger clerical magic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can.
I mean, I could smash it.
How are we gonna carry it then?
No, I meant just smash the sword, or
Oh,
Or I
thought
could
you
try
meant
anyway.
smash the crate.
no.
Given my limited experience with cursed artifacts, is that really a way that you can destroy them? Is just break them?
Well, so
Like, assuming that this is, assuming that they're like, because if touching them's a bad idea, something tells me that breaking them is also a bad idea.
Yeah.
well, I don't know if we even have the ability to break them because some of them can be so strong that you need like a really powerful weapon to do it.
Do we, by chance, know anyone who might have some more information on these artifacts in the first place?
They're just the
Mm.
architect who found them would be the only other person that I would think of.
Hello.
Hey.
Mafia.
Hello,
Yeah.
Mafia! Hi!
Welcome,
Yeah.
Mafia. You are in the middle of a museum's back room where you find the artifacts and the curator is missing.
We broke into a museum?
You didn't break
No.
into a museum. You were escorted to the back room by the curator, but the curator is missing, but the artifacts are in front of you.
I see.
Now we're planning to take them. Well, I'm planning to take them and get some. Oh, not to actually touch them because they are in a crate. We can try possibly taking it to someone who might know a little bit more about the artifacts.
Well, the whole reason they were brought here was so that the museum curator could learn more about them. But the fact that he's disappeared is kind of worrying.
Yeah, he straight up ditched us, so it's free game.
That being said, I also used augury and asked if it would be a good idea to touch the artifacts, and it was no.
Yeah,
It's
just
in
a
a
good
crate,
solid.
though.
You may want to think about that.
I mean,
see.
if it's in a crate, we can move the crate, and it's not touching them, so we can take them. I'm trying to get them on board.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
How are we gonna get a giant crate out of a museum that is currently being, that's
Guarded by
open?
shadows.
Yeah, and also guarded
We
by
wait for
shadows.
night. We don't do it right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Strike
becoming.
by night.
I mean, it is
I'm not
dusk.
I am not particularly in favor of just taking them.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know this is an issue that we need to solve, but
Could leave
maybe
some
not this
money.
way.
Yeah, there's a way that things are done, and theft is not it.
Oh, I
is it-
forgot. I need to mute Twitch. That's why. That's
Ah,
why I'm hearing double.
that explains quite a bit.
Right?
Mm.
Many flashbacks. To me just taking items off the ground on my menu. And just like, oh, okay. It's like we're not taking the crate then.
We
But
probably
how-
shouldn't.
How big is the crate?
So there are technically 3 crates. Two of the crates are meant to carry weapons. One of them is carrying a greatsword. The other one is carrying a staff. And then one of the crates is smaller that contains 5 separate artifacts, 4 ceramic jars, and an amulet in the shape of an eye.
So is the small crate the only one that we care about?
all of them are an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we talking with someone right now, or are we like?
You guys are talking amongst
Oh,
yourselves because as
Yeah,
far
'cause the
as you
curator's
know,
dead.
the curator is missing.
He's just missing. He's just gone.
Straight up
I
ditched
mean,
us.
as
No
far
one-
as
left
you
us?
are aware, the curator is missing.
Jim, we were-
That's
we were looking
suspicious.
at
We're gonna
the-
get killed. We're gonna get assassinated. There's something wrong.
We were looking at the stuff
We'll be
and whatnot,
okay.
and then we turned back and the guy's gone. He literally bounced, left us in the back rooms all alone. The artifacts.
In the back rooms, like
I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah, no,
it's
the
it's the
walls are
storage.
beige.
Yeah, it's the storage area where all unprocessed artifacts and things of that nature are to be, are left in storage in order to be processed and then put on display. He didn't have time to set up the display. He explained this. He didn't have time to set up the displays for these artifacts because the migration is occurring. He was afraid of.
we
I have a feeling that
are we
would've
being
been-
monitored
would've been-
right now?
I have to
Define.
cameras. Thing.
Scrying, or is there like any like guards? Is there anyone in the back rooms? Is there anyone like
I will point out that
listening to us?
Shadowy
I-
creatures on the way
watching
down
us?
here.
Yeah, I will point out that everybody did notice that there was shadows flitting about in the darkness while you guys were making your way here.
Oh gosh, we're gonna get killed.
We fine.
Wow. Nah, this is very suspicious.
No, yeah.
The guy ditches. So the shadow creatures, and they're just artifacts on here. I have a feeling
Like he's just
that
leaving us
something's
alone
gonna-
with the artifacts.
Yeah, I think
He's
it's
like
acting
tempting
for-
us to take them.
Yeah.
Serena is going to put the lids back on the crates.
Is there anything else interesting in the back rooms here that would be of note?
The way that you guys came through is lit with sconces. The curator made it a point to light the way to and from the door to where you guys are.
Is it still lit?
It's still lit.
Okay. We're gonna
We
keep
can-
that lit, I think.
Uh,
I don't think there's much for us to do left since we
Yeah.
already examined the artifacts the best we can, and we can't touch them, and we're alone and basically don't know what else to do.
Serena,
He
quick.
just like disappeared, right? You didn't see him leave.
Serena, quick question. How long do your eyes of the grave last?
oh, good. That like not very long.
So I would
It
say
is
a
it's
minute.
One action. It's Until the end of my next turn.
Oh, that's a
It's-
relatively short period of time.
Yeah, no, it's like a literal, like, I see something, I need to find out.
Fascinating. Okay. So I thought it was like detect magic, but that should just last 10 minutes, and I'm like, God damn! The
Uh,
idea
Yeah,
behind
detect
that.
magic, it might be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't I heard detect magic?
I don't have detect magic.
Nope.
I need to check something. So, what would the four of you like to do in this instance?
And so wait, the guy just disappeared, right? You didn't see him leave.
As far as anybody is aware, nobody noticed that he went missing. Nobody noticed that he had left.
I'm gonna
Well, I'm going
look
to
for
call
the
out
room.
for-
I'm gonna look around the room for another exit.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Can I help out by using thaumaturgy to make the flames brighter in the sconces?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay.
So you make the area around the
7.
sconces bright.
I
It's
got
what
a nat 1 and a 5.
as
Oh.
far as you can tell, it's one way in, one way out.
Hmm.
I'm gonna call out for the curator.
Scorb, as you call out for the curator, you wait a brief moment and you get no response back.
Yeah.
Was
I-
when? How did we meet him initially? Was it just like talking to him, or did you have to like
You
We
guys,
were
quote
referred here
unquote
by
summon
Nielas.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you met him, how did he first interact with you?
I mean, it was fine. He offered us tea and water, and we just talked about the issue, and he's like, could you purify it? And I said I would have to look at him closer.
Mhm.
So is he
And he took us
expecting
back
us
here.
to purify them?
I don't think he's expecting us to purify them. I think he's getting, like, he was asking to see if we could,
Yeah.
or if he maybe needs to get a specialist in.
Can we?
I don't know anybody who would do that.
Me.
Or,
neither, if
no,
I can
I have
recall.
I have
At all.
nothing that I can do right now to be able to do it.
Most of my spells are used for attacking, and there's no fight happening, so. Yeah.
The amulet in the small crate is also extremely cursed, apparently.
Yeah, it is.
Cursed, like touch
Don't
it and
touch
you're
it.
cursed, or okay.
Yeah, don't touch.
Don't touch it. Don't run or risk anything.
I think we
I
need
think-
to find the curator and ask him about his archaeological friend who found these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can basically leave this area right now. There's really nothing else for us to do in here.
Not for the moment, at least.
okay. So what is your plan?
Find
Leave
the
room and
curator?
Look for the curator.
Okay. So, okay, last for a minute, got it. All right, so you guys make your way back out, following the sconces to the door, and when you guys exit, you are back out into the museum proper.
Okay, good. Nothing happened.
Yep.
I would like to call out for the curator and see if he's around.
Okay, you call out once more, and once more you get no response.
Let's go check his room.
This sounds like a problem.
Yeah,
Wait,
let's
do
go
we?
check his room really
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
As you go and make your way through the museum, Serena and Visper, you would notice there's something flittering about in the darkness between the museum displays.
Oh no.
Mm.
That's not good.
What's not?
We're seeing something flittering around.
Yeah.
Squarb's hand goes to his sword. He's ready to fight if it comes down to it.
I got 2 more uses. The moment I see it flit, can I use Eyes of the Grave?
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
So, I will say, if you would like to make a perception check, because you are now
Okay.
actively seeking it out.
Okay. Come on. Fuck. 9.
No.
Oh, Oh.
I will say this much: you don't activate your Eyes of the Grave because you can't see, because you specifically said, "Can I activate it the moment I see it?"
Okay. All right.
So I will give that to you, so you will not burn a use of. That's a channel divinity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or
you
no,
won't.
it's
That's
just
a channel divinity.
It's not a channel divinity. It's a
Oh.
just a thing.
It's just a feature you
like-
have. Does it go off of your
yeah.
prof modifier?
It's just I can use this feature 3 times per long rest. It does not say anything about.
So it probably
wisdom
goes off of.
modifier.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say it has to go off of one of your modifiers, either
Yeah,
proficiency
it's
or your
it's a
wisdom.
modifier.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So, alrighty. Yeah.
Gee.
So as you so you're kind of doing a hard scan now, but whatever you saw, you can no longer find once more.
Like that. I think we should continue heading for the curator's room.
I'm going to pull out my little lizard friend.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask it, can you detect undead? Or detect presence of detect creatures? That's not necessarily a spell, but something close to that.
Clever. I'll give this to you. Very similarly to the Eyes of the Grave, the lizard, your skelly lizard, can detect whether or not something undead is within a certain distance from it.
All right.
And that is mostly due to the nature of the lizard.
Cool.
So I will say treat it like blind sense. It has a 10-foot radius of detect undead.
I'm gonna add that to its little thing.
Mm-hmm.
To its, I guess, action.
Put it under its senses if you can find a way to do that.
So, Mafia has a ghost detector.
Yes, Mafia has a micro
Something
ghost.
real strange in this neighborhood.
Something strange.
But do you guys continue to proceed to the office?
Yeah.
Slowly and carefully, but yes.
Okay.
And aware of surroundings.
So the guy, my little lizard, does not recognize anything.
Not immediately, but in the briefest moment, I need. Where is it? Oh, I rolled the wrong one. That's better. Visper, please take 7 points of necrotic damage,
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
and I need you to temporarily modify your strength score and reduce it by 2.
Oh.
Or how would I do that?
If you go into your character right?
Accidentally just rolled
So
this
click on the number below the +2
Mm-hmm.
or plus whatever. You can give it a other modifier.
Yeah, you can do other modifier or override score is what you would need to do.
I'm sorry, where am I finding this again?
So
So
on
yeah.
your main sheet.
yeah,
What was that?
On your main sheet, if you click, let me post it. That is not the right Discord chat. Almost just posted it in a random Discord.
they'll be
Here.
like, "What is this for?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you press on the +2
understand.
button, then there's a other modifier override score. You just click 12 in, and it'll put that in.
Yeah, you're just
Okay,
gonna.
so
It's not the +2. It's the.
It's the
It
minus.
should be
For-
the.
Yeah, whatever the small number is.
Yeah.
So I would override score to what?
Minus two of
two
what
less
you
than
get.
your current one.
Alright.
And it is in that brief instance, Violet, that the skelly lizard hisses, signifying that an undead presence has shown itself.
Can I attack it?
As quickly as it arrived, it disappears.
Dang.
Do you
Got
still
me.
sense it?
Your little skelly lizard is looking about, trying to see where it could potentially be,
Okay.
but
Um,
it cannot seem to find it.
Do I have telepathic communication with my lizard?
I would treat it as a familiar, yes.
Cool. I'm gonna send it into an air vent,
Okay.
and I want it to try and follow. The try just sort of like start scouting around the museum, seeing if it can't follow where this presence is, and
I see.
communicate to me when
I
it
see.
finds something.
Okay, I see. So it begins to like skitter about, trying to follow whatever lingering undead presence you are able to detect.
All right,
Uh,
let's go to this let's go to this curator's room.
Okay.
You guys make your way to the door of the curator's office. As you do so, I need... Okay, interesting. I will need the remaining 3 of you to take 8 points of necrotic damage, and then each of you will need to temporarily reduce your strength by 4.
By
Ah.
4? Oof.
Jesus.
It was a pretty hardy hit.
And I can't follow it still.
Your lizard is just out of range for you, so you yourself wouldn't get the recognition from the lizard.
Could I activate Eyes of the Grave as soon as I got hit?
Yes, I would give you that. I would say that it's still part of your ready action, so your reaction would trigger this. Serena, you would notice that the very shadows move just below you, and they swipe at your ankles, and it's this very swiping shadow that sweeps in and steals what feels like your physical strength from you as it sinks back into the very crevices between the stones underneath you.
Ah.
Why are they
Uh,
attacking us? We're not here to be a threat.
I can be now that it's attacking us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squarb
Oh,
clacks his
and-
beak in an agitated manner.
I. Does This is a long stretch. Could I use some sort of check, maybe history, to determine if I know what the fuck is doing this or if it's related to the artifacts?
This one will be an Arcana check specifically.
Arcana.
Mhm.
Right.
Can I also do that?
You may certainly do so. I will say specifically for
Nat
you.
20, bitch.
Never mind.
21.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Wow. A nat 20 and two 21s. Yeah, you both know exactly what this is. These are undead creatures simply referred to as shadows. They flit about dark spaces, and they feed on the life essence of those that they strike. You would know that they are specifically hit and run stealth strikers, which is why they're so hard for you to detect. And that if you that if you continue to allow them to attack you as much as they do, that if they siphon all of your strength, that you will die.
Oh.
All right, everybody grab a torch.
Yeah, I will say, because you both scored so high, I'll even give you these much. They are vulnerable to radiant damage.
Makes sense.
They are resistant to acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. And they
So literally everything but radiant.
everything but radiant.
And magic weapons will get through too.
and non-magical weapons. Yeah, so everything but radiant and magical weapons will hurt them, or will not hurt, or non-magical weapons will not hurt them, but radiant and magical weapons will puncture through. And that they are also immune to necrotic and poison.
Okay.
Also, given given their physiology, they are immune to all conditions.
Okay.
All right, everybody grab a source of light.
alright.
On it.
So
David takes out a candle.
yeah, so one of your ritual candles.
Yep.
Pull out in my magical pouch a lantern. Minigun.
Your backpack pulls out a lantern. All right. So
Are there, you said there were like torches or something on the wall?
yes, so this museum is lit, but in certain parts the light doesn't reach around certain corners, and you guys just happen to be in this weird patch of darkness along the back, where the shadows seem to be striking most proficiently in.
Wait, question.
I may have an answer.
I'm not sure if this counts, but listen, I have dark vision and whatnot, and it reaches 60 feet. Would that not count, or would I still need a light?
The light is to protect you, not to.
Yeah, the light is to keep you from being attacked from stealth. It's the best way to put it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. Just want to know.
So yeah, I'll grab a torch off the wall or whatever they are.
Yep, you grab a torch off the sconce and you begin to hold it aloft. You guys are well lit now. But as you guys gather the torches and you raise and you begin to illuminate the pathway, you notice that the door to the curator's office is slightly ajar.
I hope we don't find a dead body in there.
Let's thaumaturgy blow that door open.
Yeah, let's
J-
see.
A gust
It's
of
either you doing that or I'm kicking it open.
a gust of wind. Yeah,
No, please,
a-
I want to join you if you do.
a gust of wind rushes through as your hand extends out, Serena, and just the door swings ajar. And as you step through the door frame, the lights in the office are all snuffed out. Bookshelves are torn asunder. The very chairs that you sat in only moments ago are torn to shreds.
Uh-oh.
and you see a single body splayed across the table from whence you once drank tea from.
Oh.
Oh, damn it.
Oh. Who is it?
Well, it looks like we can just take the artifacts.
Really? That's what
We're
you
not
take
gonna
from
worry
this?
about the dead body.
I work with dead bodies all the time.
This feels like
It's my job.
Yeah,
Yeah, Serena and Violet are just like, ah, shit. All right, well.
Another body to deal with.
the most jaded,
Anyways, what
the,
about those artifacts?
yeah, the most jaded mystery gang in all of Scooby-Doo history.
Gee Willikers, gang, it looks like Old Man Smithers murdered yet another guy. Aw, man, that sure sucks, Scoob.
Oh, it's force damage. Wait, are the shadows weak to force damage? Like, can they be damaged by force damage?
They can.
I don't think there's very much that resists force.
There's not a whole
Okay.
lot that resists this pure kinetic energy. No.
Good to know.
I'm going to light all the torches back on with prestidigitation.
Okay. As
around the
you
room.
light all the torches, everything begins to illuminate, and you would all recognize the robe of the curator.
No.
Can
No.
Serena,
make
what's
him-
your wisdom look like? Can you see how
Uh,
recently he died? Or not wisdom, what's your medicine look like?
My medicine is +5.
Great. Can you see how recently he died? And then
If he's even dead or if he's just unconscious.
yeah,
Yeah, I can try.
I can help you with that.
Okay. So would I make that with advantage?
Yes, you would if you would
yes.
like to.
Okay. All right. We'll do that.
What's happening?
Doing a quick autopsy.
That's an 18.
Alright.
He is dead,
Okay.
and by the looks of it,
No.
fresh. But oddly, his body is cold.
Mm.
That is...
I mean, I have people that can read.
Does it look like the shadows killed him? Or shadow? We don't know if there's multiple.
Serena, as you quickly glance out, make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh yeah. All right. That's a 15.
15? Barely. So you will. So as you finish your examination, a shadowy claw ruptures out from underneath the robes, trying to slice at you, but you narrowly avoid it, as it then sinks back into the darkness.
Could I do Word of Radiance?
In that instance,
Yes.
I would say no. This would be like an ambushing strike.
Oh, okay. It's not a reaction. It's
Yeah.
Not okay, fine.
Yeah, this was a planned assault.
Was that a creature or a spell?
That would be
Probably-
yeah. I would say, given what you currently know of the situation, you could assume it was a creature.
That was a creature. Okay.
Yeah, you could assume it was a creature. Yeah. I would say because you guys know the nature of shadows, given your high rolls, you would know that they are ambush predators.
Okay.
They like to strike swiftly and methodically, but for the
Would I
most part, they
know-
like to hide in the shadows in order to catch their prey off guard.
Would I know if they hunt in packs or if they hunt singularly?
Both, depending.
Okay.
I would say this much: you would know that shadows generally hunt in small groups, mostly because it's the most efficient way to do what they need to do. But you also know that when a shadow kills a humanoid, that if it dies from a shadow's life siphoning strike, that corpse then becomes a shadow.
Oh.
We've got to move this body.
Oh no.
All right.
Hmm.
Oh, effects on.
So how do we do this? Or can we touch it, or what do we do?
Well, The body it might actually already be unsalvageable. It might already be a shadow. Is the body left behind when it becomes a shadow, or does it disappear when it becomes a shadow?
No, yeah, the whole body decomposes to become the shadow. You know that it takes it can take upwards to 1 to 4 hours for the shadow to fully manifest. So
Okay.
at least you
Do you
know,
have-
at least you know you guys are still within that time window.
Serena, do you have gentle repros?
I do.
Prevent it from becoming an undead.
Oh yeah,
for-
it can't be on undead
yeah.
for 10 days.
Yes,
Yeah,
that would be very helpful for us right now.
that's my
Yeah.
last second level spell. Let's do it.
Oh, geez, really? That's second level.
They never got a long rest. We're continuing right from where we left off.
Oof. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna gentle repose that body.
Okay. So you gentle
Let's
repose
get him outta here.
the corpse.
Yeah. Do we have anything in here that is it worth hunting these guys, or do you just want to get our artifacts and get out?
I think we don't have much choice but to grab everything we need and go.
All right.
Yeah. We are pretty damaged.
Serena and Squarb, you guys get the body out. Visper, come with me. We're gonna get the artifacts.
Understood.
Alright.
Okay. So you guys divide and conquer. So who is staying with this body?
That'd be Serena and I.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Serena and you will get the body, and then Visper and Violet are going to get the artifacts. Correct?
Breaking the rule of
Yeah.
D&D.
All right, cool. So we're gonna start with the. Okay, cool. So we're gonna start with the artifact retrieval crew.
Okay.
So you guys break out into groups and you race through the light protecting you from the shadows striking you into the darkness.
Am I getting any readings from my lizard guy?
Your lizard comes back after kind of going through the shafts. It hisses every once in a while, saying that the shadows are moving about, but because the shadows flitter about so swiftly through the darkness, the lizard doesn't have enough speed to keep up with them.
All right, I'm gonna have it come back to us as a warning sign.
Yeah, so I would say by the time you guys decide to split up is when the lizard returns to you.
And shadows, did they have a physical form, or are they like? just-
They have an amorphous form. I will say that.
Hmm.
So,
So it's not something like I could grab.
no, because they're immune to the grappled condition.
Okay.
Alright.
So you get
I figure.
Visper, I just realized, can you do radiant damage?
Can you cast holy magic?
Is there no arcane magic that does radiant damage?
There's quite a bit. It's just I don't recall
Maybe
many
not in the lower
spells.
levels.
Yeah, like I don't recall many low level of magic.
Hmm. Maybe
I am not
Serena
sure.
should have come down here. It'll probably be fine though.
Wow.
As you guys race back to the storage area, you notice that all the lights that were left on in the back have been snuffed out.
I'm stuffing them back on.
Okay.
As I'm going, I am prestidigitating every single light I see back on.
Okay. So every sconce you find, you're just casting prestidigitation to light them up. As you continue going through, you do set your lizard senses the shadows just the moment you step even a fraction into the shadows that they were about to creep in before the light shines brightly from the sconce, and then they slither back into the darkness around you.
They are around us.
Yes.
They are waiting.
Yes.
Visper,
Well-
make sure your light does not go out.
Alright.
As you reach the crates, you find that they
This
are
is probably safer than mine as the lantern rather than a torch. Mine is
Yeah.
exposed to the air.
as you reach the crates, you find that the crates are empty.
Even though I
Oh,
put the
no.
lid back on them?
Hmm?
I put the lid back on them.
Yes.
Oh. Good.
Oh.
Shit. Is there any
Uh-oh.
sign of what took them?
Can I use like what is it? Ooh. I'll let you go first.
these were clearly pried back open.
Pried back open. Okay.
Yeah, so clearly
So a
somebody with a
physical form.
Yes,
Okay.
somebody of a physical form had to pry them back open.
Can I, what is it, use, like, what is it? The name of it, but that's own thingy in our ears and whatnot. Like,
Your
tell the other stuff.
Message. our
yeah, you're
our
sending?
The
message.
message thing
Yeah.
to tell, to
Yeah.
tell the others that, the artifacts are gone.
Someone stole them.
Yeah, someone stole them.
Someone is here and stealing them.
Oh,
I
Scorb, this
think
is a
we've
bad
been in a
day.
trap.
And Scorb's BRB right now, so.
Yep.
Just that.
So
I feel like we walked into a trap.
If they have a physical form, then we can fight them. I'm gonna look around the area for any other signs of a person being here.
okay. As you go ahead and roll yeah, I'll say investigation or perception because you're looking for clues specifically, but I'll give it as an investigation check because that's generally what it's used for. But I'll
Yeah.
allow it as a perception check if that's higher for you.
That's gonna be a 16.
16. Okay. Is that for an investigation or perception?
Perception.
All right, cool. Looking around, you don't notice anybody of a humanoid nature, I will say, around you guys amidst the darkness. You don't see anything aside from the potential flittering of shadows just at the very edge of the flames. I will say, however, that you do detect slight movement within the crate.
Within the crate.
Yes.
Within the crate.
I'm going to signal to Visper. Shh.
Alright.
We're gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna point at the crate. And then I'm going to infestation the crate.
Okay. Can you read out infestation for me, please?
You cause a cloud of mites, fleas, or other parasites to appear momentarily on one creature you can see. Oh, damn it. Okay. On one creature you can see within range. The target must make a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 poison damage as it moves 5 feet in a random direction. So I guess the idea would be that
You're trying to flush it out?
I'm sending bugs in to see if anything comes out.
Okay. I will say this. As you call upon small scarabs that begin to slowly coalesce around you, and you try to send them out into the crate, that is when this creature erupts from the crate and tries to take a swing at you. It just misses you as a giant centipede lunges out to try to bite you.
Oh no.
Centipede. Did I try poison on the centipedes last time?
I don't recall.
Hmm?
I don't recall.
Oh well, okay. Do I still that would have been my action. So do I get another action?
I would say yes. This was sort of an interesting surprise round, I will say.
Yeah.
But
All right.
you guys have the option. You can fight it or you can run.
I mean,
It was in the box.
and we put the lid back on it?
No, it's
Stop
out of the
attacking
box now. It is.
Yeah, it is now
Oh.
slithering out of the box after it tried to ambush strike you.
I mean, we can try to kill it.
I don't know if it's worth it.
Oh, yeah, because the amount of... Alright, we can just book it and leave.
Yeah. Was there a door
Okay.
to the basement?
There is no
Tell people.
there was no basement as far as you can tell. Like I said, this was a one way
Or
in, one
to
way
the
out.
back room.
There's just a single
There was a
entrance.
door.
Yeah, the one that you
But
guys
was
came
there a
through.
door? This
Yeah.
thing doesn't have opposable thumbs. It can't open a door.
It can't open a door.
Yeah. It can't open a door.
This is true to an extent.
All right, sounds like we're gonna book it.
Okay.
Book it and run.
Okay, so you guys are gonna
The
take
others
the.
have to go
You guys are
down
just
there.
gonna go ahead and dash it out, huh?
Yep.
All right, cool. You guys have a movement speed of 30.
Yep.
Cool. It also has a movement speed of 30.
Oh.
But I
That's
will.
Great.
So I'm going to say this: make a dexterity check, either one or both of you, if you are confident. And if you succeed, I will say you guys narrowly are able to slam the door in the centipede's face.
That sucked.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't do much better. I got a 10.
Might I remind you, you guys do have inspiration points if you wish to use them.
I don't wish to use
Oh,
an
I
inspiration
forgot.
point, but I do wish to use a knowledge from the past life.
Go ahead.
Let me roll a d6 to add to it.
What inspiration?
So that's gonna turn it up to a 13.
You needed a 12. So you just barely passed as you both rush away from the giant centipede. It
I always forget I have 2 free bardic inspirations.
Yeah, you basically have 2
whenever
free
I
bardic
want.
inspirations. So yeah. So it lurches up as it tries to leap forward to try to strike at you, and just as it does, both of you manage to get out of the door frame, and in the last second you slam the door with all the force as you can, and you just hear a as it smacks into the door.
See you later, sucker.
All right. Let's try to meet up with Serena and Squarb then. Out of the building. Let's get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to Serena and Squarb, I know Squarb is still AFK for the time being, but Serena, you guys are with a body. And during this time where they're discovering that the artifacts are missing, what do you and Squarb do?
I am going to first thaumaturgy to make Squarb's torch burn brighter.
Okay.
And then I'm hoisting the body like piggyback style.
Alrighty.
Which is kind of more difficult now that I have +0 to strength, but
You should be relatively fine,
yeah.
all things considered.
And then as we're moving, like if a shadow tries to swipe at me, I'm immediately doing Word of Radiance.
Okay, cool. So I will consider it as a held action for you to do
Yeah.
whatever it means. All right. In that instance, then let's go ahead and see what we can do. Wow.
Welcome back, Squad.
Thank you. Sorry,
Uh,
the wife needed some help.
No,
You came back
absolutely.
just in time.
Came back just in time. It's your group's turn.
Well,
So
good.
they discovered that the artifacts were missing, and then they were immediately ambushed by a giant centipede.
Well, shit.
As for you two, you guys are now slowly bringing the corpse out into the museum. Your torch has been thaumaturged up into. That is not the sound. That is not the music that we need. Your torch has been immediately thaumaturged to improve the lighting. And thus, you guys are now in the midst of escorting them. And currently, Serena has the held action to cast Word of Radiance the moment a shadow tries to strike at her. Would you like to do something of a similar nature for yourself?
I don't really have anything similar that I can do.
Fair enough. So then, as you guys make your way through, I just rolled for these, so Serena, go ahead and how is Word of Radiance just anything within 5 feet of you?
Each creature of my choice that I can see within range
Okay, cool.
they must succeed on a Constitution saving throw.
That is not something that they excel at, especially with radiant vulnerability. Okay, well, this will be entertaining. Then in that case, this is not considered sunlight for the purposes of, so then we still get the attack. Okay, cool. So they do get the attack off.
Oh.
So Serena, you will be taking 9 points of necrotic damage,
All right.
and then you will take minus 1 more point of strength from yourself temporarily.
Okay, that's not horrible.
But then your word of radiance kicks off the moment you feel the claw reach around your leg.
Blink.
So
Oh no, it's 2 damage.
what are you talking about? That's 4 radiant damage because it's doubled for vulnerability.
Yeah.
So the moment you feel the cold grasp of the shadow, you utter a word of radiance, and just a blinding bolt of light shoots through your body, sending the shadow reeling back as it slithers back underneath the cracks. Squarb, what is your armor class got improved, didn't it?
Yeah, it's 17.
Okay, good. So my numbers are up to date. All right, cool. So Scorb, you will be taking 4 points of necrotic damage. I rolled low for that one.
I'm not feeling this, Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna like me much more because they actually rolled high on the strength reduction. You're gonna lose another 4
no.
points of strength.
Oh,
I'm gonna drop the body, I think, because that puts me down to 9.
I'm carrying the body piggyback style. So
You both are carrying the body at what at a strength score of 9.
yeah.
Yeah, I think collectively you both have enough strength to do just that. Also, he's very light. Like I said, Serena beforehand could hug him and he'd snap like a twig.
Yeah, I started this encounter at 17 strength, and now I'm down to 9. I'm displeased.
I apologize. Shadows are not meant to be fun.
No, you don't have to apologize. I mean, Squarb is displeased.
Yeah, I
I'm not
bet.
the player.
No, I can imagine so.
I, as the player, am having a great time. Don't worry about it.
All right,
Orb
but
is the most affected by this.
by
which is
this.
why which is why I sent Squirb to get out faster.
Yeah. So, but as you guys are making your way, you guys are about halfway through the museum, and you're in the more well-lit part of the museum. But as you do so, you hear a large slam of a door and a thud as you see Visper and Violet. You can't really tell because Violet doesn't technically need to breathe, but they are panting as they had just sprinted through the storage unit to avoid being attacked by a giant centipede.
The centipedes are back.
Oh, great.
Great.
Well, I say centipedes. There was only one. However, the things are gone, which means there's someone here who left a centipede.
Oh,
And
that's
also
even
probably
worse.
is working with the shadows here.
And I have a feeling that we were. What is it? Dang it! I'm trying to think of the word.
This was a trick.
It was a trap. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
I think actually this might have been just a very shitty timing on our part.
Oh, guaranteed. Let's get the fuck out of here, shall we?
Yeah. You said we're about halfway, right?
Yeah, you guys are about halfway. It's about another 30 feet to the exit.
Okay. I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Shield of Faith on Squarb.
Okay, fair enough. Scorb, you have
Thank
+2
you.
to your armor class, so you're now at an armor class of 19, which makes it even fucking harder for me to hit you.
You owe me for
Just do
that.
strength saving throws.
Just 2 strength saving throws. So the 4 of you come back together to form a much larger circle of light. The shadows can no longer reach you without compromising themselves, I guess is the best way to put it. And you hear the continuous thudding of the centipede breaking in through the door, but it's going to take some time. As you guys continue through, I would say you all could hear this. You hear the chittering and clicking sounds of sharpened mandibles and pointed legs, again, skittering about on sandstone tile.
Are there more doors we can close?
Aside from the large main ones, no.
Cool.
But you do hear the sound of more centipedes coming in from the left and right wings of the museum. So they're
More.
so they're coming from so they're coming from either side of you now.
This is a one-story museum.
Two
There's
stories.
Only one floor. 2 stories.
It's a 2-story museum, but you guys were only on the first floor because that's where the storage unit was.
Okay. I'm gonna send out my lizard again into the vents or the walls to search around for any humanoid creatures.
Okay, cool. It'll take some time given the size of the lizard, but but it can scale walls just fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Creepy.
in time, however, you guys do have enough movement speed, I think, amongst all of you to reasonably make it out the door.
Yeah, you said we're 30 feet away?
Yes, you guys are 30 feet away.
That's a single
Okay.
move action for me.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get out, but I don't think we should leave yet. This is our one chance to get the artifacts, I think.
But we don't know where they are.
Yeah, but the person who does is still there, probably.
I don't want to risk doing any more further damage. So
We can't just leave it.
No.
this is an odd predicament.
The fact of the matter is, Scorb and I are hurting very badly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we
I'm
should
uncertain that I'd be able to
the
assist in
safety
combat should it
first.
come to that.
Yeah. I think we should all get the safety first and worry about being essentially healed. Then we can try again another time.
It feels like I could only take another 1, maybe 2 hits from one of those shadows before I'm done.
I can give you 3 actions worth of damage. I have a Ring of the Ram.
I don't think that will help me here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I think
We're
we should
extremely weak right now.
I think we should get to safety. Like out of this place.
I know it's frustrating, Violet, but it's better to live and fight another day right now.
Yeah.
Agreed. We can't put a
Also-
stop to this if we die.
And most of the gang is hurt.
I'm gonna leave my lizard here. See if it can't find anything.
Absolutely. So you guys, I will say you shuffle is a good way to put it, given the current situation. You guys shuffle your way out. You see the centipedes crawl into the main area, but they do not pursue as you guys close the main doors behind you, carrying the body of the currently deceased curator out into the night in the city of Kileron. Where do you guys go from here?
Probably find somewhere to rest.
The only safe place that I'm personally aware of is the franchise of Niella's Nook here.
Yeah, they're not going to probably be happy about dragging a body there, but
I'm certain they'll understand if we explain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys make your way back to Niella's Nook. The place is still vibrant and full of revelry. Ember is in the midst of still performing her heart out as you guys make your way up to the second floor, and you hide away in the Kileron office of Kassar's. The place is well lit thanks to the torches that you guys all alight. And it is at this point that I will say, while you guys were traveling, Violet, you get a telepathic message back from your skelly lizard, informing you that there were 5 individuals who were in the museum at the time that it was able to locate. 3 of them were up on the 2nd floor, and 2 of them were sent out carrying what looks to be the artifacts, although it couldn't confirm them because they were all wrapped up.
Oh.
Violet was away from desk.
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm back.
well, I'll just repeat everything I said. So
Sorry.
you're good. So while you guys made your way back to Niela's Nook and you lit up the sconces of Kassar's office to recuperate, you got a telepathic message back from your lizard, stating that 5 humanoid individuals were seen at the museum. 3 of them stayed behind while 2 of them left with what looks to be the artifacts, though it could not confirm because everything was wrapped up.
All right.
But given the shape of the larger of the objects, you could pretty much assume.
Yeah. Did I see a direction they were headed in?
Your lizard did not leave the vicinity within the interior, so
Okay.
it's hard to say.
Yeah. Can I telepathically have it return now?
Yes.
Cool.
So
Cool.
less than so it takes a bit because it was like an hour or 2 away
Yeah.
from Niela's Nook, but your lizard does eventually return, and it rests upon your shoulder once more. The night is still young. What would you guys like to do?
So, 5 people,
Confirmed 5 targets, 5 humanoids. Yes.
and they hid their faces. I assume we couldn't get a good look at them.
Yes. All of their faces were masked. They were unable to be discerned.
And they were average, like, humanoid height, right? So, or like, could I
Yeah.
get any like descriptions on like any sort of like race narrowing down? of them?
It was kind of hard to tell given the clothes that they wore, but they definitely had a humanoid shape. Some of them were a little bit bulkier than the rest, primarily the 2 that were carrying the artifacts, but the other 3 seem to have been more slender and lithe, definitely designed or they definitely seem like they were built with the intent of being swift and stealthy. But if you're looking for things like, did they have any horns or like any obvious indications of racial differences, it's hard to say. You couldn't see anything of like an obvious indication.
Yeah. I mean, the only one I can think of that I'd be able to see would be height.
Yeah,
Stuff
the
like,
the 2
is there
larger
any
ones.
abnormally large or abnormally small races?
No, there were no small races. Everybody was about the same height as an average human, as far as you can tell, save for the 2 larger individuals who, who carried away the artifacts.
All right. Well, we've got a long rest, don't we?
Yes, you guys can now take a long rest if you wish. Yeah.
Does our strength score go back up?
Yep, all your strength scores return to normal.
Thank God.
That's why I said these were temporary.
You have your, 19 strength back?
17 for Squirb, I think.
17.
Yeah, it's 17 for Squarb.
And then
So
will.
Looney's just dipped out, and my wife is in a shit ton of pain. I hate to
Oh.
ask
This is
this,
a
but
this is a good time to stop, honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I need to get rest because I'm still not feeling great. But I can still, watch an episode of Kamen Rider before I go to sleep. That is never.
I
gonna
will
be
not
in
be
question.
joining you folks for that today, unfortunately.
It's all right. We can catch up later. All right, I will go ahead and readjust Lumi's strength score. So she's back to her 11. And then, yeah.
Yeah, no, 2 more touches from those shadows would have killed Squarb.
My goodness, are you serious?
He was down to 9 strength.
Yeah, and if you had hit 0, you would have died.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
and they were hitting at least 4 or 5.
yes.
So-
For reference, shadows can siphon 1 to 4 strength points from you every strike.
Yeah,
Wow.
it felt like they were getting max every time.
Yeah, I was rolling really well. That's the reason why. The thing to note though is that that I learned as a dungeon master is that their strength siphoning does not account for whenever they crit. So it's only the necrotic damage they deal. The strength siphoning will
That's good.
always be 1d4 as far as I'm told, unless somebody can show me and prove to me otherwise. That is what I ruled because I'm just like, that seems pretty busted for a stealth ambush character.
Right?
Like, imagine
But no,
losing
that was-
2d4 strength every time you struck with a critical hit.
Yeah, that would suck. But no, that encounter was really cool.
I'm thankful. I was holding off on that one. I'm like, this is what I had in mind. I wanted to do this one, and so I'm really glad it worked out. But yeah, so we'll continue with everybody having a long rest, getting their stats back, and everything like that nature. Thank you, Mafia, for doing the D&D thing for me. Also,
Hell
good to
yeah.
see you, King of Carbs. I'm glad that you're here, but we're just ending right now. I'm gonna watch some Kamen Rider and then crash probably.
Hey, we should do a raid. We've got 10 folks hanging around.
We do.
Mika's streaming.
Mika is streaming? Ooh, I haven't rated Mika in a hot minute. Yeah, let's go ahead and raid Mika then.
Hell yeah.
Does she have an underscore? I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Mika underscore she.
She got it. Is it capital S?
Yes. I don't
Thank
think
you.
capitals matter on Twitch.
Not for raids.
Well, we're making it happen. There she is. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and raid Mika. She is an adorably. How do I say this?
He's a cryptid.
She's definitely an enigma. Um, You put her in a puzzle game, she's definitely an enigma. From personal collab experience. But I love her dearly. She's adorable, and she always has a very. Moe is a word for it, but it's not the word I want to use.
Fair enough.
But I kind of treat her like a little sister. That's a good way of putting it. Let's go with that. She's got very big little sister energy.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thank you for your time today, everybody, and have a good one.
Yep.
Oh,
Take it easy, man. Give
bye.
Cherry my love.
Bye.
I will.
All right. Have a good day, guys. Remember, stay hydrated. Get something to eat. Get lots of rest. And remember, we love you. Till next time. Bye.